I have to promise that what I'm going to speak now has not been written by ChatGPT. I think going forward, a disclaimer of this nature is going to be important. I don't know, we didn't speak about that, Amit, but with AI for AI and everything being automated, I guess we are in for what we would call as uncharted, unknown territories. It was not fair, Amit. I think you left us all with a scare there. But I want to take this opportunity to, obviously thank everyone who's joined us today. I think it was a very fascinating day with some very interesting, important takeaways. We started the day with, the whole discussion about digital banking and the evolving era. There was some interesting comments about fintech investments and how it's driving innovations, and we talked about both debt and equity playing a role in the way investments are happening. We also talked about how digital banking and particularly UPI is actually driving financial inclusion, driving transparency, driving the data, helping us make better quality decisions. I think that was also a fascinating takeaway. And then we had the famous ABCD. I don't know how many of us remember ABCD here. We talked about from artificial intelligence to blockchain to cloud to data. And then we had the jam session since it was breakfast time. So we had from Jandan to Aadhaar to mobility. So I think it was very important takeaways. And of course, there was, me personally, I think, I was very, very impressed with that insight that, the whole concept of credit to GDP ratio is likely to move from something like 40% where it is today to something which could be as good as 100% as a country. I mean, that could mean it has significant implications to all of us in various shapes and forms, right? And then we also talked about technology and how it's an opportunity cost for banks to actually, not participate, and therefore the investment they're making is but inevitable. And the famous 3,000 transaction per second, volume that we're dealing with as a country in the way we're dealing with UPI, I think that was important. And of course, I quite like the way we had this phrased that the next best analytics has now come of age because we have data come of age. So I guess that's an interesting way to conclude the discussion today. As Cedar and IBSi, I mean, obviously we have a lot of understanding and we continue to operate in this ecosystem because not only does, Cedar from a consulting, perspective and IBS Intelligence from a research perspective, but also the lab that we run, which is actually ecosystem of fintech players, and the Cedar-IBSi Fintech Capital, which actually is into ventures, venture capital. We clearly are seeing the ecosystem of digital banking and fintech evolve globally and in India. And today's discussion was obviously just making it, should I say, an icing on that cake. I would like to thank our sponsors for the day, Cloud4C, Kia.ai, and Explio who have been our gold sponsors for the day, and both Clarify and Tag IT, who have been our ecosystem partners. So thank you, sponsors. I also take this opportunity to thank all our speakers who actually, I know some of you have taken very early morning flights to come from miles away, and some of you have joined remotely, and many of you who have been here, I guess it was all a learning for all of us. It was, you could be here, but honestly, it's not about just speaking, but also about picking from a lot of your colleagues. And I'm sure most of you in the audience will agree with that. Thank you, delegates, for being with us and joining us through the day today. Hopefully it was useful, and there is some good learning and takeaway for all of us. Please do stay back and join us for high tea and networking. So, feel free to stay back and have some time, quality time interacting with all of us. And for all those questions that we couldn't afford the time, find the time for you to ask then. Your turn is now. You could actually get the time to spend with the speakers. Thank you once again. Let's put a hand together to celebrate this.